guys, welcome back to my Introduction to Furniture Painting course. My name is Haley Estes, for those that don't know me. I blog themountainviewcottage.net where I share farmhouse-inspired DIY decor and organization videos and posts. This series is dedicated to painting furniture. I have, over the last several weeks, been sharing with you everything that you need to know to be successful in painting beautiful furniture. Today I'm going to be showing you how I distress this piece of furniture after I have prepped, painted it, which are in two separate videos. I will link in the description of this video so that you can watch them if you're not quite there yet. The distressing is probably the most fun part, especially with milk paint, because milk paint is kind of unpredictable. You don't really know what you're going to get as far as chippiness and distressing because it really does kind of chip on its own. It can be a little bit intimidating, but don't worry, I will show you how I distress it, all the little steps that I take, and some of the troubleshooting things that I do if you run into over chippiness and things like that. But I'm going to show you in this video how I do all of it, so stay tuned. So let's just kind of take a glance at the piece of furniture that I've already completely painted but have yet to distress, and just kind of see how the paint has taken to this individual piece. I feel like it has painted on really beautifully. A lot of that I think has to do with the way that you prep and prime a piece prior to painting, and that is how you're going to get the best results with milk paint. So you can see on this drawer front that there's a bit more of a crackled appearance to it, and some of the paint is kind of chipping. The paint will chip on its own with milk paint, but you can't always guarantee that it does. If you want a more chipped appearance and a crackly-like finish like this one kind of has, one of the ways you can achieve that is by drying it with a blow dryer. I let mine sit in the hot Arizona sun for 24 hours after it dried, and I got more of that crackle appearance from that. So if you're looking for more of the crackly, chippy, worn farmhouse vibe, that is one way to ensure that it happens when you're painting with milk paint. So let's go ahead and just start the distressing process now. This is the top of the dresser, and as you can see right here, the paint is already chipping on its own. I'm going to use a metal spackler, nothing special, to really lightly just kind of encourage a little bit more chipping. Make sure that you don't scrape it more than just chipping these little paint chips off, because you don't want that. And then that's about all I'll do. And then I'm not going to worry about dusting it off. I'll dust the whole thing off when I'm done. In addition to places that chip like this, you'll also have some texture where the paint dries, because there's kind of some granules in the paint. So you have some pieces that kind of stick out like that. And I also like to use my metal spackler to smooth it out and kind of chip those off. So I'm going to just run my metal spackler all across the entire top of the dresser to begin. You also want to make sure that you're going with the wood grain and not against it. I'll also kind of use this to distress the edges. Careful not to overdo it. Here's how it looks after I have used my metal putty knife all along the top of the dresser. Now I'm going to move on to the sides and the drawers. For this drawer, since it is curved, I'm going to be extra careful that I don't gouge it with my metal spackler, but I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing. Just kind of encourage some of that paint chipping, but using a light hand so that I don't overdo it. Starting to chip a lot more than maybe I would like. It's perfect right now, so I'm not going to rub it along there anymore because I don't want it to chip more than that. Same with this spot right here. I can tell that this area will really chip a lot more if I want it to, but I don't want to over chip it. Moving on to the second drawer. This is what's so fun about milk paint versus chalk paint, because chalk paint just doesn't do this. It's nice to have them like this with a pointy edge because you can really get into some of these detailed areas and chip them up. Just gonna continue to do the same thing for both the bottom drawers as well. It's really chippy, and right here as well, so I'm just going to be really light-handed so it doesn't overly chip right in these areas. This piece of furniture turned out really chippy. If this is not a look that you like, don't worry. I will have another video all about milk paint and how to get a much more smooth finish that's a little more sleek and doesn't have this much chipping. I personally love this. I think it's really cool looking, and it really fits the farmhouse style in my own home. So this is pretty much how I distress it. I'm gonna go ahead now and use a foam sanding block and very lightly just kind of smooth it out, but I'm not going to try and take off any more paint in the areas that it's chipping. And then in the next video, I'll show you how I seal it so that it stays like this and doesn't continue to chip and chip and chip. So let me show you how I use the foam sanding block really quickly, and then that will be the end of this video. This is a medium grit sanding pad. I would use either a fine or medium grit. I feel like the sanding pads tend to be a little smoother than what the grit actually says, so medium grit will work for this. But I'm just gonna lightly kind of sand some of these areas, but be careful that I don't continue to make things chip. Okay, that's it. That's how you sand a piece of furniture that's been painted in milk paint if you want a really chippy, rustic look. And then, like I said, in the next video, I'll show you how to seal it so it doesn't continue to chip and it preserves your furniture for so much longer. This is gonna go in my daughter's room, so I especially wanna put a tough coat on it so that it can withstand the wear and tear of a toddler and also be safe for her, which is another reason I love milk paint. It's not a harsh, chemically based paint, so it's safe for a room like a child's room. I will show you in the next video how we seal it. Thank you guys so much for watching.